Ucha. This is the fifth video, Kingdom video, and we're talking about briefly. We're going to be, like I said, I was going to segue into some important areas that I wanted to discuss. Going over the positions. I covered the Mamhuda, and now I want to go over the first architect. I'm probably going to do all three architects in this video. The Masumat, or the Masumatu, the architects, are vital to the entire structure of Kalu. So you have the three high architects that are under the Al Mamhuda, and then for each pillar there are three architects under each pillar of Mamhuda, and each architect is responsible for a specific area of management of the goings on within the kingdom. The first architect is an administrative architect, and what that means is it is their responsibility to ensure that all of the administrative duties are taken care of in the kingdom, or in wherever area they are in. So they're responsible for being the relay or the parlay between other kingdom members and the appointed. They are responsible for ensuring that all offices of the kingdom are operating proficiently and efficiently. They are responsible for ensuring that all reports that come from kingdom meetings to be presented to the appointed are on time, on schedule. They're responsible for ensuring that all of the offices within the kingdom are running the way that they need to be ran. So as we are beginning the building and the construction of our kingdom, the first architects, Paa Masumatu, their job is to establish all of the administrative procedures that will be necessary to ensure that Kalu runs as efficiently as possible. So the high first architect will establish the template for all of the administrative systems. So each first architect of each pillar will use the template from the high first architect, and then take that and then address their individual pillars. The first architects is also responsible for making sure that all of the pillars are running the way that they need to be run. So they'll do periodic checks, periodic evaluations, so that they can make sure all of the pillars are within the standards of the overall kingdom. Very important that as we begin to develop, we don't have the potential threat of rogue pillars of being established. And that's basically, as they, as a pillar is established and they start to develop, and they decide that they want to move into their own direction away from the principles of the kingdom, it's the first architect's responsibility to ensure that everything stays within the principles of the code of ethics of Kalu, as well as the Mamhuda's code and the kingdom overall code. The second architect is infrastructure, and basically they're responsible for the actual implementation of all of the procedures, all of the the setup of all of the offices and things like that within the kingdom. They're responsible for keeping a blueprint of how every pillar operates. This second architect is also responsible for the legal setup within the kingdom. So they'll work closely with the government pillar for the overall legal, interactions of the kingdom with the rest of the world. So anyone who wants to do any kind of commerce or any kind of negotiations with the kingdom will have to go through the second architect. And that second architect will be proficient in those areas and will have a specific office set up for the legal matters, the national legal matters of the kingdom. So the government will focus on the actual kingdom and interaction between pillar to pillar and things like that. But the second architect will focus on the legal matters that concern the kingdom and the rest of the world. There it is. The third architect is finance. This architect is responsible for ensuring that all financial systems, all financial operations, anything that deals with the establishment of finance, the acquisition of finances and resources for the kingdom. They'll deal in also with trade, export and import. They'll deal with any external businesses that are affiliated with or operated by the kingdom, and they'll work with all professional builders as well as the finance and commerce pillar. Now, in a lot of cases, the third high architect will more than likely be the Al Mamhuda. I'm sorry, not the Al Mamhuda. I'm sorry. They will be the Mamhuda of the finance and commerce pillar, unless a third architect that is elected and put in that position is a male. And in that case, then there'll be, sometimes in that case, the male's wife will operate as Mamhuda if the male is elected as the third high architect. So it just depends on who holds that particular position, but they still will work closely with the finance and commerce pillar. Anything that is reference to resources that are needed by the kingdom, the third architect is responsible. So all of the budgets and things that are established as each pillar is established, the budget that they create, it's the third architect that will facilitate those budgets. The third architect that will ensure that something is in place so that all budgets can be fulfilled. And that is. All right, so those are the architects. And we're going through all of the positions so that there's a greater understanding of what is required from each position within the kingdom. Why do?